What is? Hey everybody! My boyfriend's making stupid comments off camera. So I decided to get some wear out of my Halloween costume. So since it lands on a Tuesday, I will be able to wear it at school. And so I got this at Target. It's my unicorn. See if you guys can see, it's got a little star on it and everything. So yes, decided to get some wear out of my little costume. So I'll just wait for a few more peeps to pop in, and we'll go over some crystals. We'll go over some decks that we could use possibly during this live chat, and just decks in general. And also, since we're coming upon Halloween slash Samhain slash Dia de los Muertos and all other such holidays, I figured I would talk a little bit about ancestors and maybe even some spooky tales. So I have Wally down here murdering his deer. Wally, do you want to show the internet what you're doing? Show them your kill. Show the world your murder. Oh! Oh! Well, fine then. So anyway, getting readjusted. Oh, and I don't know if you guys can see, but I got on these cool little boots that came with it. They're supposed to look like little golden hooves. So that's kind of cool. And I'm glad that it's cooling off. We've been in the hundreds, and I think today it's only supposed to be 82, and then it's supposed to drop into the 70s the rest of the week, and then I think it's supposed to be at its coolest actually on Halloween, which is nice because I'm like in a full-on onesie, so I don't want to be burning up on Halloween. Okay, so I guess while I'm waiting for some peeps, because I just readjust, my buddy is redoing, or not redoing, but he's scraping off the popcorn off the ceiling in one of the rooms, which also had my altar in it. It's our office slash my creativity room where I do all my crafts and stuff like that. And so all our stuff's been pushed out. So if you're noticing that there's like a lot going on in this room, it's normally not like this. It normally has all of this in the other room. So some of it's down in our living room, and it's kind of been moved all over the house, and then we'll put it back in the room when he's all done. But he's slowly but surely, kind of just doing, little fix-ups here and there, and he's been with us since July. He's our buddy from college, so yeah, so if ever in the backgrounds of any of the videos you see there's like blue tape on the walls or junk everywhere, it's usually because he's working in one of the rooms, or he just worked on one of the walls and he has to go back and patch it up later. So there's usually like blue tape for like a temporary fix until he can like totally patch the wall. Okay, so first I just kind of wanted to talk about crystals because when he cleared out the other room, a lot of my bigger crystals were moved into this room, and so they're quite handy. They're like right here. And so normally I keep them like surrounding my altar and kind of like on my decks and things like that. A few of the crystals are kind of like, it's a bookcase is what my altar is. It's like a 2-shelf bookcase, so I have like all my office supplies on the top shelf, and then I have all my decks on the bottom shelf plus a few crystals. And so some of the crystals are still over there, but I have some of the more major crystals here. Hey Wally. Okay, so first big one we have is my beautiful sparkly amethyst. And I believe I got this one down at South American Imports in Old Town, San Diego. And usually when they have like just their they'll just usually have boxes of like uncleaned, unpolished, like, you know, stuff they got down in South America. It's usually really cheap because it's like it's not been put into show quality. So I think this was one of the ones, and then I just cleaned it up, so it turned out to be really nice. And it's usually only like a couple of dollars, so yeah, to get a beautiful piece of amethyst like this for a couple of bucks is nice. Let's see, one of the other stones. Hey, good to see you, good to see you. Hey, I figured I would, you know, get some wear out of my Halloween costume. So, yay! Oh, by the way, I got the boots to match. Let's see. Other crystals that are, have been hanging out in the other room, but, you know, are temporarily over here while the other room gets worked on. I have my beautiful piece of hemimorphite, and hemimorphite is one of my favorite stones, and I prefer the hemimorphite that comes out of China because it's this beautiful blue color, like almost like ice. And actually I think this is this my hemimorphite? No, this one is Larimar, but well, I mean, they're both a pretty blue color. But yeah, this is a Larimar that my boyfriend had got me at the Del Mar Fair maybe a couple years ago. And then this beautiful piece of hemimorphite. Let's see, what else we got going on? Oh, it totally does. So yeah, yeah, that's one of my favorite colors. You know, I love, as much as I love like colors like red, like all the different types of shades of red, I also have a color that I just call pretty blue. Pretty blue. It's one of my faves. Okay, let's see. I also have this nice piece of rose quartz. I also got this down at South American Import Shop in San Diego and Old Town, and I believe this was also in one of their boxes of just uncleaned stones just for a couple of dollars. That's really where you get the deals. That, and when I go to the gem fair, and you know, you get like the wholesale prices. So yeah. Okay, so put those aside. Let's see, other things. Oh, on either side of my altar, because like I said, my altar's been disassembled and put into this room just so it doesn't get all mucky while my buddy's taking the popcorn off in the other room. Popcorn's, you know, like the bumpy stuff that you have on top of the ceiling. So we're just trying to make our ceilings like nice and smooth. So when we moved in about 4 years ago now, most of the rooms were nice and smooth on the ceilings, and some of them still had the old 70s popcorn, you know, because the house was built in 1978. So anyway, on the floor, on either side of my altar, I have these selenite towers, and I have sprayed them. I think I talked in another chat or one of my other videos, or both, about there's a outdoor sealant spray that I get from Michael's that I use only on my more fibrous type stones like selenite, black tourmaline, kyanite, things like that, where it's not crystalline, let's say like this, because if you sprayed this, it would totally dull it and you would tell that there was some sort of film on the crystal, so that's no bueno. I learned that the hard way on my celestite. So on my selenite, it doesn't take away any of the sheen. In fact, you can't tell that there's anything on there at all. And plus it keeps it from flaking off. So yeah, so I have these on either side of my altar on the floor, and I just feel like it really keeps the energy nice and high. Oh dude, I love selenite. Like I have next to my bed a couple of like just long rods of selenite, and I think those were, I think I got like 2 or 3, maybe it was 3, 3 rods for like $10 or something like that. They're like huge, but I use 2 of them to kind of like just wipe down my aura before I go to bed. Hey Sammy, what's up? So I'm just talking about a few of my stones right now. I kind of showed everybody my costume. I'm getting some little wear out of it. Oh, and I don't know if you guys can see on the inside of the hood of the costume, like, how cool is that? It's got little stars in there. That's so cool. This whole outfit, by the way, I got it at Target. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, my costume. See, I think this was like $24, and then I think the boots were like 10. So not bad. I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this costume. So yeah, with my selenite, yeah, definitely. I like to just, you know, I have a little spray that I made, you know, myself, because I love working with essential oils and things. So I have a little nighttime spray, just like transitions me into it's time for bed, it's time to like wind down, we're clear, all the day's muck that may have been attached to me or my energy is like just psh, gone. And then I just do like a little selenite wipe down, usually after I shower, because usually I shower at night. And I should do a video on like my whole, like what is my whole nighttime routine, because I put you know, special like bath salts on the floor of my shower, because the bathtub is in the guest's bathroom, but we just have like it's just a step-in shower in the master. And so I just put like the salts on the floor, or on the floor of the shower, so that I can step on them. I feel like really grounded. I feel like it's really clearing. You know, imagining, you know, the shower head as the water, you know, goes down on me, it's like, you know, just nice and clear. And then, you know, after the shower, come over to the bed, and I have like, you know, the selenite, and I just continue wiping everything down. And it's just like my whole transition into bed. It doesn't matter how tired I am, like that's my little ritual, and like I don't let myself really deviate from that. And even if I'm super tired, I'll still try to find a little bit of time to at least do a really short meditation before bed, because I find that I sleep a lot better. Yeah, I only have a walk-in shower too, so I have modified everything I do that's meant for baths for the shower. So yeah, possibly could be a possible future video. And actually, speaking of videos, I got a lot of videos to do today, since November is upon us. I got to do the November reading. I have to do my November newsletter that I send out to people who bought from my Etsy shop, or just signed up for my newsletter. There's a video that I want to do in response to Simon of Two Spirit, talking about like your life path card, and he was talking about his card and kind of how he resonates with it, or he's trying to understand it. I try to put out a video every day so that, you know, well, some of the videos I make all in advance, and then I just schedule them for like noon every day, so it's like I'm posting them every day. So I just like kind of clump them together, and then I put them out. But let's see, I also want to do a response video to, oh well, yeah, you're in crazy transition time right now, you know, with all the moves and things like that. So I think it would be really hard for you to do a ton of videos right now, Sammy. So, you know, don't feel pressured, you know, just focus on you and your move and all of that, and so you don't get burnout. So yeah, let's see. Oh, and Evelyn Timeless, I want to do a response video to her. She created the It spread, you know, Stephen King's It, and it was just 3 questions. Thank you. But I really want to do that, and I have to make notes of all the types of videos I want to do, because I forget. I noticed when I like have inspiration, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then when it's time to start making like my batch of videos, I'm like, I was gonna do something. And I never remember. So yeah, I've been really good about writing them down now. Let's see, I especially wanted to do something special on Halloween. I don't know if you guys remember. Okay, oh gosh, what channel was it on? And I know it aired outside of California, because I think it was not made in California, but it was this TV show. Do you remember Mystery Science Theater 3000? Like, oh, hey, Evelyn, I was actually just talking about you. I said that I was going to do a VR to your It spread. Oh, cool. Yay, I can't wait to see it. So, I lost my train of thoughts. So, oh yeah. So Mystery Science Theater 3000. I don't know if you guys remember that show, where it was like, I don't know, it was like a robot dog and like something else, and it was this guy, and they would go into what kind of looked like a theater. Sorry, I have something in my eye. P.S. I have too many eyelashes. I always get something in my eye. I have these really, I know you're gonna feel really sorry for me, but I have these really long eyelashes and they're constantly falling in my eye, and my eyelashes like rim literally my entire eyeball. So yeah, it's like I got shark's teeth eyelashes and they're always falling in my eyes. I know, boohoo. We'll play the little violin for me. But yeah, I want to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type thing for Halloween. I think it would be the coolest thing. Oh yay, I'm so glad. Hello people, even if you just pop in for a short minute, I am so happy that you guys popped in. Thank you so much for showing up. Yeah, and I saw that Kelly's chat was going on, and so, and I know that she's gonna do her chat for a while, so as soon as I finish up here, I'm gonna go over and like go watch Kelly's chat. What up, Dead Cheeky? So yeah, so those of you that don't know Mystery Science Theater, so okay, so it's this guy and these like two robot things, and they're like watching a movie, and they're just like commenting. I know this sounds like lame, but they just comment on the movie, the entire movie, but they usually take like B-rated movies. So I'm talking like Godzilla, which don't get me wrong, I like watching like old Godzilla, but it is a B-rated movie. All those movies, or like, you know, just B-rated like horror flicks or whatever. Yay! And I just thought it would be like, I love that when you like take a horrible movie, a horrible B flick, that where it's so horrible it's funny, and you just listen to these people like, you know, do commentary, and it's really hilarious commentary throughout the whole thing. And I thought like on Halloween, I mean, I know most people have plans and things like that, so I doubt anybody would show up for a live chat. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, my boyfriend's got work today too, so some people be working all the time. But I thought on Halloween, like, how cool would that be if like we all did that, like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type thing, where like we pick a movie like as a, you know, little internet group here, you know, like, I don't know, like whatever, you know, obviously it would be a Halloween type movie, but something that's a really horrible movie where it's like so B-rated that it's like awesome. And I kind of want to like recreate that Mystery Science Theater feel. So like everybody would, you know, we'd get on here for a live chat, let's say, and I would say, okay, on your mark, get set, go, we're gonna go and either, you know, put the video on our TV. So it would have to be one that we're all like, a movie we all have. Yes, Sammy is your internet niece. Because we're all the internet family here. So yeah, like, you know, we'd all press play at the same time, so we're all watching the same movie, right? And it would just be just like commentary, you know, we'd have like a bowl of popcorn or whatever all of us are having, you know, for our movie, to make it a total movie experience. And you know, obviously the camera wouldn't see the movie because you guys are all watching it, but it would just be like stupid commentary, you know, like the whole time, you know, you guys would be commenting obviously, and you'd be able to see each other's comments, you know, I'd be commenting, and I think, I don't know, in my brain that would be pretty awesome. But I know on Halloween, like I don't think a lot of people would be able to come to the live chat, but I think, you know, even if it was just myself commenting, I think it would be like pretty cool. And people, and you know, obviously, you know, if even if people can't make it, they can go back and play the live chat again, and you know, watch it in their own time. So I think that would be like kind of cool. Like, and it sounds like you guys are digging it. So I know that most of you are busy on Halloween, and normally I'd be busy on Halloween too, because normally one of our good friends has this like massive Halloween party up at her house, and it would be taking place this weekend. You know, obviously you can't have it during a work week, but she has her cats are really sick, like terminally ill, or one of her cats is, and so she's not going to be having a party this year, understandably. And she's one of the people who, when she adopts her cat, she adopts cats that are sick and do have, you know, like health issues and things like that, and she basically gives them like the ultimate like medical treatment, like everything that they need, you know, because she makes pretty good money, and so she wants to just like give these animals, you know, the best care they can, until they, you know, eventually pass away. So yeah, so the current cat that she has, it looks like it's not doing so hot, but she's like really trying as best she can to just make it really comfortable. So sorry to make it such a downer, but yeah. So yeah, so it looks like you guys are really interested in the movie idea, but so like, do you guys have some like crappy movie ideas? I'm like thinking, I don't know, Scream sucks. I remember watching Scream and thinking it sucked. Just me and monsters and cards. Oh, we don't have really a trick-or-treater problem on my hill. My hill is really steep. And when I say steep, I mean that you literally have to put your car into, oh, the old Dracula, for sure. You have to put your car in first gear. Like there's a sign that says put car in low gear at the base of my hill. Otherwise, cars can't make it up. And some cars, depending on the year of the car, can't make it up my hill. It's really steep. And so trick-or-treaters don't come by. The first year that we moved in, we had a trick-or-treater, and I should have totally hooked up that trick-or-treater. I still decorate outside. I still decorate the house because I love Halloween. You know, I'm literally at the top of a really steep hill. If you keep going up our hill, there's a literal castle at the top of our hill with a drawbridge and everything. Like we have a castle, like some, I think we met the lady that made that house, but it has a moat and everything. Like it's a real castle at the top of our hill, and we overlook a reservoir and everything. But yeah, I'm like, please, gods and goddesses, just bring me one trick-or-treater. I will hook that trick-or-treater up. Like I will dump like everything into their sack. So, oh yeah, so Scream would be a good movie. The old Draculas would be a good movie. Gosh, yes, I do live in a very interesting neighborhood. We have some very eccentric people. I should say, I'm probably one of those eccentric people. It has a legit drawbridge and moat. Actually, one of these days, I'll take you guys on a walk around my neighborhood. Maybe it won't be like a live chat, but I'll just make a video. I'll just like walk around the neighborhood. You guys can see all the homes here, because the hill that I live on is called Dictionary Hill. I mean, that's not the name of the street I live on, but the area is called Dictionary Hill. And all the houses were built at different times. So at one point or another, every house is a custom house. And my neighbor next door literally knows every owner of the house that I currently live in. There weren't that many owners before us. And he remembers when our house was getting built, and he says that his house and our house was literally one of the first houses on the street. And then, you know, every other house has kind of been, you know, built up, obviously, and now there's a lot of homes on Dictionary Hill, but they're all unique and all different, which I really love. It's not just like track housing, you know. So yeah, let's see, what else could we watch that's like Halloween-ish? Because I'm really digging this. Like, I'm serious about this. We need to do this on Halloween. Even if you guys can't make it, which is fine, you guys can do the playback, and I think it would be really cool. Oh, we should do it like all like oh dude, there's probably some stories with every home. I know, well, as you guys know, like I have like a portal in the master closet, which is like right over there. I have heard from a few people that the street that's literally on the other side of my backyard, the street below us, had a lot of like poltergeist type activity, where they had to have some people come in and kind of clear their homes. There is a lot of activity on this hill, and one part of the hill, I think at the bottom, was considered at one point to be called Gravity Hill, until they built upon it. And you know, obviously kids can't go get their jollies there anymore, but we used to have a Gravity Hill here. This whole area at one point was populated by the Kumeyaay Indians, which is, you know, the Indians from our area. And now we have different bands of the Kumeyaay Indians. You know, we have Sequan and Barona and, you know, Pali and all of that. All right, Sammy, no worries. And Dictionary Hill would, well, before it was Dictionary Hill, would have been their vantage point or lookout, because we have, you know, the reservoir over there, you know, and we used to have natural springs, you know, because this is called Spring Valley. There was natural springs here, and so this was like a good vantage point for the Kumeyaay Indians to be able to, you know, see if danger was on the horizon or something like that. Hold on, I'm going to scroll back on the comments. Ooh, I love the ghost stories. Well, I plan on doing a few spooky stories, you know, for this live chat. I figured it would be apropos. So let's see. So yeah, so I think if you guys maybe, you know, even after this live chat's done, in the comments below, or even the comments that are right here going on, if you guys can just like give me some ideas for movies, and I think if we can all agree on a movie, you know, that could be the movie that we watch. And it should be a movie that like most everybody has, and not one that, you know, would be too expensive, especially if you're buying it off of Netflix or I have Amazon Prime, so I usually go for like the free movies. Let's see. I was like thinking Addams Family, but I love Addams Family, and I don't think that's a B-rated flick. I actually love Addams Family, and Addams Family Values. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I guess any slasher flicks, like the old Jasons, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, which if you go back now and you watch the Freddy Krueger movies, they're really lame. I used to think they were actually, well, I used to be scared when I was younger, but then I thought they were funny later. And I could never watch scary movies at my house because my parents thought I would have too many dreams. So I'd like go watch them at my friends' houses, or I'd go to my grandmother's house, and my grandmother was all about watching B-rated flicks. You know, it was like our little thing we got to do together. We'd go to Blockbuster together, and she'd be like, oh, like, let's pick out a movie. And so we picked out all these like horrible B-rated flicks, but I thought they were awesome. And one of the ones that I remember for sure was called Blood Diner. It was like an 80s movie. Monster House. Okay. Keep that in mind. It was called Blood Diner. And it was these guys, and from what I remember from my elementary school self when I saw this movie, was that it was a diner, and they would like kill like homeless people or hookers and stuff, and they would grind them up and put them mixed in the burgers. This sounds really disgusting, but and they would serve the burgers to their patrons, and it was like the best burgers in town, and like everybody would come and like eat these like freaking cannibal burgers. But the way it was done so like horribly and gross. And so my grandmother is like taking her whatever 6-year-old granddaughter to like Blockbuster to go watch like these movies. Oh yeah, I remember. Yes. Oh yes. So yeah, I think we can come up with some pretty good Halloween-y movies. Plus, I don't know if you guys do it, but I love to watch like the Halloween specials that I used to watch when I was a kid. Like I have to watch like Charlie Brown's oh yes, it was a modern day Sweeney Todd from the 80s. um, but I have to watch like the Peanuts Halloween, you know, Charlie Brown Halloween. There was a Disney like Sleepy Hollow, and then there was one with, oh, what's the actor's name? I think his last name's Goldberg, but he was like Ichabod Crane, and I remember watching that when I was 5 or 6 years old, and they played it at the local library where my mom would take me trick-or-treating. And let's see, what else would I watch? Yeah, just any of like the Halloween specials that came on. Oh, I used to love to watch Elvira. If you guys remember Elvira used to come on, and she would like, you know, introduce this next spooky movie, you know. But yeah, I liked Elvira. Yeah, I mean, like I'm a kid from the 80s. You know, I never watched the Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. I am a really sucky Johnny Depp fan. Like, I love Johnny Depp too. Like 21 Jump Street was my jam. Let's see. Yeah, so I liked all of those. Yeah, I don't know. I liked all of that. I liked all the fun that surrounded Halloween. Oh, Critters! Svengoolie. Or Svengali? I have not seen that. You know, there was one that they used to play at Halloween, but it wasn't a Halloween movie. Do you guys remember Tremors? That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. It has Kevin Bacon in it, which, oh, Kevin Bacon. But that was one of my favorite movies because where Tremors took place is literally near my grandma and grandpa's house. And so like when I go to my grandma and grandpa's, I'd always look around for like the Tremors. Ooh, yeah, okay, Dead Cheeky, that is a good idea. So yeah, I could put all the movie titles that you guys have been suggesting, put them in a bowl, mix them all up, and then that will be our Halloween movies. So whether or not you guys can make it, you guys can always do the playback, put the movie on for yourself, and just kind of listen to the commentary. I might also need my boyfriend's assistance in this because he's kind of a wise ass, and he has a way of painting pictures with his words, you know. So I think he'd be really good for commentary too. Yeah, okay, so we're doing this. This is a thing. We're doing it. Halloween. I will have to get back to you guys on a time, so I'll put it on Instagram. I'll put it on my Facebook page, Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. My Instagram is @kittensweightsandtarot. I will put it on here on YouTube. I'll make a short video, kind of like I do my live chat, like my pre-live chat videos, like, hey, live chat's gonna be at this time. I'll do that for Halloween. So that means I'll put it out on Monday for you guys, where it'll have the time, the movie that we're gonna watch, you know, be there or not. You know, you guys can watch the playback. So this is a thing. We're doing it. I'm so excited. Mystery Science Theater 3000 lives. So yeah, yes. Okay. Well, hey, so let's then start talking about some spooky stories, since we're like all in the Halloweeny mood. And I must say that, you know, I love, let's see, something in this show about this guy just like, that's awesome. So he dresses like a creepy character and shows these stupid films. So that's awesome. So yeah, so, like, I love spooky stories. I love real spooky stories, you know. And when I was younger, I used to love like the myths and the legends, you know. Of course, you know, kids were always trying to scare each other, so there'd be like you know, what was it, Candyman. There was there were some Spanish ones. So like you had the Chupacabra, you had the like the basically Lady in White, you had Bloody Mary, like, you know, all those things. So I mean, those are I think just meant to like scare people. But as far as like real spooky stories, I always I never ran out because, you know, I had a really, really haunted house like growing up. And so I was literally scared out of my mind in my house. And when I finally left for college, it was such a huge relief to finally be sleeping outside that house. And like every noise, every voice that you heard in the college dorm room came from somebody, you know. There wasn't any creepy sounds, you know. I just finally had the most peaceful rest when I was off at the dorms at Long Beach State, you know. Of course, then later on, you know, I find out Long Beach State's haunted and we've got like all sorts of things going on because our dorms were literally built on Indian burial grounds, which is no joke. That's something that, you know, you can find on their website, that it is built on top of Indian burial grounds, at least their original 1949 dorms. And those were the dorms that I stayed in my first year. And then off to the side, they had some of the Indians in the area had like erected like a memorial for their, you know, brothers and sisters. We had a swing out there, and it was just like sacred, you know, land that was next to the dorms, like on campus. So that was interesting. It's like I don't know, I'm like, spooky follows me everywhere. And then, you know, obviously the house that I'm living in now, you know, it's got some spooky stuff. So, and, you know, and I don't mean any disrespect, you know, to spirits when I tell the stories. It's just like, you know, like, hey, you know, spooky stuff happens and people love spooky stories. But, you know, I also do a great deal of, you know, going out on, you know, ghost hunting investigations and trying to aid those on the other side any way I can, you know, as best as I can, you know, on this side. You know, I try to help them out, let them know I'm listening, and that, you know, I'm just here to let you acknowledge you and let you know that I'm listening. And if you need help, I have spirit guides that can help you, you know, move on if that's what you need, or you need, you know, any assistance. That's what I try to do. So yeah, so let's see. I think some of the creepier stories would be coming from my childhood. Oh, by the way, those of you that are in here and haven't seen like my awesome unicorn shoes, they're like my little unicorn hooves. Let's see. There was one. I think I may have mentioned this one before. So, I'll talk about a different one. Yeah, these are literally $10 at Target. They're really cute. Okay, let's see. Okay, I got it. Oh, no worries, Dead Cheeky. You take those doggies for a walk. Okay, so I'm trying to remember how old I was at the time. I believe I was in high school. I think my mother had sent me to bed. My mother was, she was already like in bed and probably already passed out to go to sleep. By the way, when my mother sleeps, it's like you can shake her, you can like you know, hit her with stuff, you can shout at her. My mother will not wake up. You literally think my mother's dead. So yeah, so she's fast asleep in the room. I was already getting ready for bed. My brother was already asleep in his room, and all our rooms were kind of like together, you know. So like my room would be here, my brother's room was across the way, and next to my brother's room is my parents' room, and next to their room was the bathroom. And so I think my dad was still brushing his teeth to go to bed. And I had just turned out the lights in my room, and I was always creeped out in my bedroom. Like I always felt like there was like thousands of people watching me. It was always so creepy. And I lay in my bed, and I'm ready to go to sleep, and I'm kind of looking up at my ceiling, and I have a giant window that was next to my bed where I'd be able to see the moon at night, which was always really comforting to me to be able to see the stars and the moon. And so there's this beautiful like blue moonlight coming into my room, and so I look up, and there's this thing crawling across my ceiling that it looks like it's a shadow of something. It looks like it's a shadow of a cockroach, actually, but the shadow is like this big, and it's taking up a good portion of my ceiling. So then I'm laying there thinking like, oh, well, maybe it's just maybe there's like a bug in my room and somehow the light's hitting it and like making it look really big on my ceiling. And so I'm looking around my room for this bug. And it keeps going and it keeps going. And my room is getting like really cold, right? But it has these giant legs sticking out of it too. And I'm like, is it a cockroach? Is it a spider? And I'm like, gosh, you know, I'm trying to figure out how the light's magnifying the shadow on my ceiling. And I'm like, I'm trying to put my hands, like trying to see if like the shadow of my hand, which I can't even see my shadow up on the ceiling. My shadow is actually against the wall. And so then I'm like, well, that's interesting. You know, the moon was, or the moonlight was casting shadows this way, but somehow there's a shadow on my ceiling. So I'm like, so I'm trying to like put my hands to where I can recreate the shadow on my ceiling, because then I know where the bug is at. And so I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm getting the creepiest feeling that something's watching me, and I'm getting really creeped out in my own room. And I'm like, oh, and then this thing, like, you know, above my door is here, and this is the ceiling, and it just kind of goes right into the corner and like disappears. Like the shadow just like goes into that and disappears. And I'm like, and I jump out of my room. And I run to my mom, you know, in their bedroom. I'm shaking my mom. I'm like, mama, 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 mama. And my mom's like, and I'm like, mama, mama, mama. I'm like, well, see, I was like trying to like rationalize what was in there, because I didn't want to get freaked out, because I was always freaked out in my room. And so I'm like, mama, mama, mama. And then my mom's like, what? You know, she's like trying to wave me off. She's like, I'm sleeping. I'm like, mama, there's something in my room. I'm like, mama. And she was like, shut up with that. Just go back to your room. And I was like, but mama. I'm like, mama, there's something in my room. And so then my mom like smacked me, and she like sent me off on my way. And I was like, and so I went back in my room and I like pulled my covers over my head. Okay, next night. And I used to write in my diary every night. So this is all recorded in my diary. I can go back in my diaries and like read this to you guys. So then the next night, I used to suffer from sleep paralysis a lot. And so I'm having a nightmare, and all I remember is in my nightmare, something's chasing me. And so I try to wake up from my nightmare, and I wake up. And you know, it's like, you know, you're really trying to pry your eyes open, you know, because you got your, whatever, you're like half awake, but you're half asleep. And so it's like the dream's going on, and I like open my eyes. I'm like, sweet, you know, like, whew, you know, that's just a dream. I'm in my room. But then I realized like, I can't move my body, you know, although my eyes are open and I'm like looking around, but I can't move. Like, it's like literally you're being pressed down. And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, you know, it's like the sleep paralysis thing again. And so I'm like, so I'm kind of looking around, and I like look over on the edge of my bed, and there's a woman sitting next to me, and I look down at the foot of my bed, and it looks like, if you've ever seen the streets of New York where you see like tons of like business people like just walking by, that's what it looked like. It looked like freaking Wall Street was happening at the foot of my bed. And so then I closed my eyes, and the nightmare is still happening. I'm like, what the deuce is going on? You know, I was so confused by this that, you know, I really had to write this down, because I was like, what is going on? So I'm like, I'm paralyzed, and if I close my eyes, there's a nightmare going on. If I open my eyes, there's some weird crap going on in my room. And gosh, I was probably like 16 or 17 at the time when this happened. And so there's like these, all I can describe them as is like, they didn't see me, but it's like these guys in like trench coats and briefcases, and it's just these dark shadows of people just going back and forth, like they're off to work, like at the foot of my bed. And I'm like so confused. And so this woman that's sitting next to me, she's glowing green, by the way, and she's dressed like stereotypical 1960s. She's got the hair with the little swoop. She's got a ribbon in her hair. I remember she had some initials on her sweater. She was wearing a plaid skirt. And she was sitting next to me smiling like she's on the bed, and then she starts reaching for me and leaning for me, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I'm like, and I was like, I just want to go to sleep, I just want to go to sleep. So I finally get my arm free and I pull the blankets over my head and I keep my eyes open under the blankets, because I remember if I close my eyes, there's a nightmare going on, and if I keep my eyes open, there's some weird stuff going on in my room. So I'm like, so I just do that until I feel like everything's calm, and then I like eventually fell back asleep. Well, it didn't look like the library in Ghostbusters. It kind of looked like like a young version of my grandmother. But my grandmother, well, I guess she was deceased at that time. She would have been dead for about a year, I guess, at that time. And that's kind of how she used to do her hair and stuff in the 60s. So it's like I kind of thought like that could have been my grandma, but it was like, I don't know, she was really young and it was really creepy. Yeah, but she was just kind of like leaning over, smiling, like she was like, like coming to like tuck me in or something like that. But yeah, and just they follow me everywhere. But at least now I'm not scared. Whereas when I was a kid and I was a teenager, I was terrified. I used to, I used to say prayers at night, and I used to say, please, 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 like, Lord, don't let me see anything. I don't want to see anything. I never want to see anything. Because my brother used to see things. Like, he was very, like, he would see things all the time, and my father would make fun of him, and so would the rest of the family. And so he would just tell me what he was seeing. Yeah, and so, like, now that I'm older, I understand it, whereas before it was just these scary things, and I saw them as scary. and I just used to say, like, please, I don't want to see anything that my brother sees. I don't want to see anything that my brother sees, because I would sometimes see things. I would have these wicked dreams, these like crazy dreams, and I would hear things, I would feel things, but my brother was the one that would see things, and I was like, no, like I never want that to happen. And then now that I'm older, yeah, so I was like, I don't want to, none of that. And then now that I'm older, I'm like, they're just people, or sometimes they're just entities, and it's like I think I have a better understanding now of what's I guess going on. I mean, I'm not 100% sure because I'm not really on that side, but now it's like I'm not that frightened anymore. I mean, there are times when I feel a little unnerved, but I stand my ground, and I just realize that, this is my plane, this is where I am at this time, and, no spookiness or creepiness is gonna, keep me from going into a certain room, or is gonna keep me from not doing this, or, because, yeah, I like to do my own thing. I think for I'm a very well, I would say a lot of my clairs are utilized, but for sound especially, if I can get into some, like if I block everything out and I can just do some sound, I can totally trip out into some different dimensions. But I also think that sound carries a vibration, and it also can bring in certain things too, which is like kind of cool. I don't know, that's like a whole like let's see. There's one story that I tell my high schoolers on Halloween, because it's kind of spooky, but it's also oh, see you later, Dead Cheeky. Thank you so much for stopping by. But it's one that I remember really well, and I think it taught me a lesson. So this is how it was. I know that I think I was like a freshman in high school, and this is literally right after, I was going in my sophomore year, because this is right after my grandmother died, and she died the summer before I became a sophomore or a 10th grader in high school. So I had just turned 15. Yeah. So, so my ohms that are playing in the background, is meant to keep, since that's where the portal is, it's meant to keep it high vibe. And so although I can't stop things from coming through, the things that do come through that are attracted to that sound are a lot more calm, a lot more high vibe. They're a lot more like family and friends and, you know, higher dimensional beings, instead of what was coming through, which was not desirable in this house. So yeah, I feel like having that has kept our house pretty even keel. That, and I have to do a lot of like space clearings and house clearings in order to just keep everything copacetic here. So I was about 15 years old. I had decided that I wanted to stop sleeping in my room downstairs, and I wanted to sleep in the guest bedroom upstairs, which, mind you, the house that we stayed in was my grandparents' house, and my parents were renting from my grandparents because my grandparents had a few different properties. And so this was, you know, it's a 2-story house. My grandfather had done a bunch of modifications to it, so it's like it had more bedrooms or something. And so upstairs there was a guest bedroom, which originally, when my mother was a teenager, that was her bedroom. Next to it, on one side was the bathroom, and then you go down the hallways, there was like a really, really creepy room, and it was always ice cold. Like, no matter how hot it was outside, upstairs in that room, which upstairs it should be hotter, that room was always ice cold, and I never liked it in there. But that was my mother's sewing room. And so I had started sleeping in the guest bedroom. Number one, it's like a queen size bed. And I found it to be less creepy in that room, although it was extra creepy in the hallway, and obviously that really scary room off to the side there. And then there was always stuff going on in the bathroom, but I felt really safe in this like one room. And so there was also a 13-inch black and white TV with the bunny ears that was our original television that we had growing up. And we finally got a color television, I think when I was like 12 or 13. So that color television was downstairs, and we moved to the 13-inch black and white upstairs. And so I was like, yes, you know, if I'm upstairs and my family is sleeping downstairs, I can watch TV past bedtime. So I really wanted to watch 90210. And so I'm like watching, you know, 90210 and, you know, black and white, and sometimes like Star Trek reruns and whatever, late at night when you watch Nick at Night. And so I'm up there, and I can hear my mom doing dishes downstairs. My father had already gone to bed. My brother had already gone to bed. And I hear my mother finishing up in the dishes, and I hear her coming up the stairs. So I'm like, oh crap, you know, so I quick turn off the TV, pull up the covers, and I'm just like, you know, pretend like I'm sleeping. I'm like, you know, pretend I'm sleeping. And I hear my mom coming up the stairs, and we had some really creaky stairs. So it's like, you can hear the, you know, the as my mom's coming up the stairs. And then the top stair was kind of broken, so there was a big like snap when you hit the top stair. So I hear the big like, you know, or it's like a, but it's like a sound, you know, and I can hear her hand sliding along the railing. You're watching 90210 then? Yeah, so I was like 15 watching 90210. So yeah, and then I start hearing her come down the hallway, and it's really creaky old hallway, so it's like, you know, I can hear her coming down the hallway. And then I hear a hand on the door, because the door is partially closed, so the door opens, and I can hear my mom, and I'm like thinking, I'm gonna scare my mom. So my mom always kisses me goodnight, you know, she kisses us all goodnight. So I'm like, I'm gonna yell boo in her face, and I'm like, gonna scare my mom. And so like I have my blankets up, and I can hear my mother coming in the room. I feel her pressing down on the bed, and just before she goes to kiss me, I like pulled the covers down. I was like, boo! And I went, oh, there was nothing there. There was literally nothing in the room. Like, my mother wasn't there, and like I look around, and I'm like, and I have the blankets, and I start to listen, and I could still hear my mom doing the dishes downstairs. And I'm like, oh my god, I totally booed a ghost. And so I'm like listening, and I hear my mom still doing the dishes, and I'm like, oh my God. And so I pulled the covers over my head, and I went to sleep that way. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, you know. The next day I tell my mom what happened. I was like, Mama, I was like, so I thought, okay, I was like asleep. I totally wasn't watching TV, but I thought you were coming upstairs to give me a kiss goodnight, and like I was gonna scare you, and when I went to scare you, there was like nobody there, and my mom started laughing, and she says, well, you know that was my bedroom, right? When I was a teenager, and I was like, yeah, and she said, well, she says, your grandmother used to come in and give me a kiss goodnight. She's like, maybe it was just grandma. And I was like, I don't want grandma giving me a kiss goodnight. I'm like, that's so creepy. I'm like, grandma's a ghost. So yeah, I decided no more practical jokes on what I thought was my mother. Let's see. What was another one? Oh, there was one. Okay, so like I told you guys, my brother used to see spirit, right? And every time he did, you would get freaked out. He'd call me, and you know, and he'd hide behind me, and I'd always be like, where is it? Where is it? And I'd always be like protective of my little brother. And I'm like, what's trying to scare my little brother? I'm like, you're pretty jacked up, you know, trying to scare my little brother. So I'd always like try to show him that I'm not scared, although I'm freaking terrified inside, you know? And so he was out, and this is during the daytime. Oh no, it looks like I'm having a bad connection, but okay, hopefully it's okay now. It's during the daytime. My mom and dad had asked my brother to take out the trash. That was like his one chore that he had to do. And so he's taking out the trash. And I happened to pass by the front door heading into the kitchen, and I noticed my brother is just like, he's got the garbage, but he's just staring up into the two windows upstairs, you know, because there's two windows above our garage, and that's our upstairs. And one is the hallway window, and one is that creepy bedroom window. And he's just like, and I was like, Brian, what's up? And he's like, and he comes running into the house, like he drops the trash, and he comes running into the house, and he's like trying to tell me, he's like, there's something up in the room. He's all, and it's like looking at me. It's that guy again that, you know, lives upstairs. And I'm like, okay, like that's it. You know, this thing, you know, is messing with my brother. And so I start to storm through the kitchen. I got my brother in hand, and I'm like, this is the last time this like thing, because he used to mention this thing that lived upstairs, and he would try to tell, like, you know, my parents, but of course my dad just thought would make fun of him. But he would say that there was a guy that kind of looked like a farmer, like he had a farm hat and he had overalls, and he said, my brother would say that he glowed red, and he says, unlike when he would see our grandmother or other people in the house, he says they just look like people. Like they look solid, like, you know, you or I. And he says they walk on the ground, whereas this guy was kind of transparent. He glowed red, and he like kind of floated above the ground, which freaked my brother out. And that my grandmother had told him not to think about him too much because he was a bad thing, you know. And so he says that guy is up there in the window. And so, you know, I grabbed my brother, and my mom's like, where are you guys going? And I was like, well, Brian says he sees this thing upstairs, you know, again, you know. And I said, I'm gonna go take care of it. My mom's like, oh, well, yeah, let's go take care of it together. By the way, my mom was like uber Catholic, you know. And so we're like going up there, and we're standing in the doorway. And I go into the room. The room's like icy cold, and my brother's like, he's clenching my clothes. He's standing behind me, and he's pointing in the corner, and he's like looking from behind me, and he's like, Tara, he's right there. He's right there. He's looking at you. He's right there. And I'm like, I don't see anything, Brian. I don't know what you're looking at. And he was like, he's right there, and I think he's got a knife. He wants to hurt you. And I was like, he can't hurt me, you know. And so my mom is whatever doing the Lord's Prayer or something like that. And well, my brother, he doesn't see anything anymore. Unfortunately, my brother has, I mean, he's been so traumatized by his experiences when he was younger that he found that if he's really poor to his body, like eats bad food, if he drinks and things like that, that he it shuts it down. He can still hear things and sometimes feel things, but it's not as much as before. But he's always like, he still remains very fearful of it. He's very scared of it. And he was taught to be scared of it, you know, from, you know, people in the family and friends and stuff like that. And so my brother has kind of shut that side of him down, by, you know, just not being kind to himself. Unfortunately. And so he thinks I'm a lunatic. Like, he's like, why would you open yourself up to that? He's like, do you know what I went through? He's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, it's not scary. I could help you. He's like, but my brother's like, no. Cause my brother's like 30 now. And he's like, no, that's not his thing. And you know, I understand. I'm not going to force him, you know, to do that. So yeah, so we go upstairs and, my mom's like saying the Lord's Prayer or whatever. And, I you know, push my brother off to go be with my mom, and I'm in the corner and I'm like moving my hands around. I'm like, is it here? Is it here? And my brother's like, yeah, like your hands are right in him. And I'm like, okay, it's right here. I'm like, well, I don't feel like it's any colder here. I'm like, the room's cold, but I don't feel anything. He says he's trying to hurt you. He's stabbing you right now. And I'm like, I don't feel anything, Brian. I was like, he can't hurt me. I was like, if I can't see him, he can't hurt me. You know, that's what I was like saying. And I was like, he can't hurt me. And so my mom's like, I think we all need to say the Lord's Prayer. So I'm like, okay. So all three of us start shouting the Lord's Prayer. We start saying the Our Father. And my brother starts going, he's disappearing. He's disappearing. He's fading. And my brother's like, and he was so happy. He's like, he went away. And then I was like, well, I said, maybe he's like not into religion or something. And I was like, okay, well, next time that guy messes with you, I was like, just say some religious stuff or something. Maybe that'll, you know, make him go away. My brother's like, okay, you know. But yeah, he used to draw pictures of this thing, and it was the first time he told me about it was when the movie The Sixth Sense had just come out. It was out in theaters, and it was at the same time that my mother had tried to go back to community college. She never really finished, but she kept like trying to go back. And so my mom was like, she was out of class, you know, at community college. My dad, I think he came home and he was maybe taking a shower. And so then it became my job to like get dinner ready and set the table and like, you know, just, it's like, I always say like I raised my brother, you know? So like, I'm getting everything ready and I'm just kind of sitting at the table. You know, we're waiting for my mom to come home so we can eat. And, the commercial for The Sixth Sense comes on, and my brother's like, he says, oh man, like I can't wait to see that movie. I was like, totally, I love scary movies. And I was like, yeah, I was like, we should get Papa to go like take us to go see The Sixth Sense, because my mom hates scary movies. And my brother's like, yeah, because like I want to see what that little boy does. He's all, so I can understand. And I was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Because this is before my brother told me any of what he could see. And he's like, he says, I want to see what he can do just because. And then he says, hey, if I tell you something, he's all, do you promise like you won't make fun of me? And I was like, you know, because I'm like smart ass, you know, big sister. All right, see you later, Evelyn. Thank you for stopping by. So yeah, I was like, that depends, you know. And he says, okay, well, he says, you know how we went to grandma's funeral, you know, so this was like maybe the year after. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you know how, he says, we were all, you know, cause, we buried her in Ohio. And he's like, you know how we're all in Ohio? And he's like, and we're at, you know, we're gonna put her like in the ground. And he's like, and he says, and then we all start walking away, and he says, and we're all standing at the cars. You know how everybody's crying? And I said, yeah. And he says, you know how I wasn't crying? And I said, well, I mean, I mean, maybe you just didn't understand. And my brother's like, no, I understood. He says, but I saw grandma. And I was like, well, we kind of all saw grandma. He's like, no, I saw grandma looking at her coffin. She was looking at herself. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I saw grandma. And he says, and I don't remember when I saw her first here. he says, but grandma's here now. Like, he says, I see her. She comes into my room at night to tell me things. And he says, and sometimes she appears on the stairs, and it really scares me. And he says, sometimes she'll just be walking next to me and just like appear. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, what are you telling me right now? And he says, I see like lots of things though. And he says, and you know how Papa says there's Felix the ghost upstairs? He said, there really is something upstairs. And when I try to take the dog upstairs, the dog doesn't want to go upstairs. And he's like, there really is like this like farmer guy up there. And he tells me that there's like the house is full of stuff. He's all like lights flying around and people. And he says, and one time he saw a girl that looked just like me. And I said, well, that's probably Aunt Rebecca, you know, our dad's sister. And my brother's like, yeah. So he said, like, please don't make fun of me. He saw, and then I said, okay, well, here's the deal. When you see that stuff, like, don't let me know because you're gonna make me never sleep again. My brother's like, oh, okay, like, I'll tell you later then. I was like, okay. I said, so tell me about this guy upstairs. And I said, because I always feel like something's following me up there, and it's like really creepy in that one room. And my brother's like, well, that's like his room. And he says, and grandma will walk me up the stairs, and sometimes grandma tries to protect me in the hallway when I need to go use the bathroom up there. And he's like, and this guy, sometimes he follows me, and he says, but I'm safe in the guest bedroom up there. And grandma said, because because there's a bunch of like crucifixes and stuff that was my grandmother's that was like hung up there, and apparently like he wouldn't go through because of like all the religious paraphernalia. And so I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, so I'm like safe in there. And grandma says I'm safe in there, and she says not to think about him too much because he will give me bad dreams and he's a bad omen. And I was like, what does that mean? And my brother's like, well, I don't know. He's like, what does the word omen mean? And I'm like, now I'm freaked out because my brother was using literally a word that he didn't understand. And I was like, oh, so like maybe my brother was telling the truth. And I was like, I was like, omen just means like a bad sign, you know, just, and my brother's like, oh, okay. So she told me not to think about him too much. And I was like, okay. He says, because then that's how he likes to scare me, is with my thoughts. And I was like, okay, well, don't think of that guy then, you know? And so, yeah, that was like the first time I heard, you know, that my brother would see things. And, yeah, so my brother and I would like share stories back and forth of like the things that I felt and, you know, and what I was hearing. And then we'd match it up with what he was seeing. And it was just like, I was so happy to go to Long Beach State. I was so happy to go away to the dorms, only to find out I'm living on Indian burial ground. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm a cut it there with my spooky stories. I think I brought in some peeps that are listening to my stories. What up, Maha? So Maha, I have just been telling a bunch of spooky stories. True. Oh yes, my Larimar. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I'm so glad that I met the people that I did in college who are a lot more open to like spirits and things like that. I think because that helped me not be so scared, or at least to start to want to understand that other side. And so I think that's kind of like why I am where I am now, where I'm like, sure, you know, like I'll totally do mediumship readings for people because it's not scary. I know that, you know, I'm learning to differentiate, you know, between things that pretend to be like your loved ones and like, you know, where they're just like tricksters, you know, and then there are your loved ones, there are, you know, and that I learned that, you know, sometimes, you know, when you shed your body, you're still the same person. So sometimes, you know, if you had a crappy personality in life, you're probably gonna have a crappy personality when you pass away. The first, this one, hemimorphite, that was the one I showed earlier. So hemimorphite has a very similar color to Larimar. But I love hemimorphite, and it comes in, there's like clear, like a white hemimorphite, there's dark blue, but the kind I really like is this beautiful light blue, and this comes from China, so province in China. It's really pretty, hemimorphite. So yeah, So yeah, you know, if I hadn't gone away, I think, to Long Beach and met the people that I did, I think I would still be pretty scared, you know. And I think that, you know, we fear what we don't understand, and I really, really didn't understand what was going, you know, on the other side. I say the other side is really just like where we are. It's just out of our visual range, you know. And so yeah, I've slowly since then, you know, I've wanted to understand, learn more, and you know, because that's what I am. I'm like a bookworm. I'm an educator. I want to know more so that I can share more. So hemimorphite. I would say if you're going to get some hemimorphite, try eBay because it's a lot cheaper there. And some of it really does come out of China, so it might take a little while, but hemimorphite can be expensive. This piece, however, I got it at my, you know, one of my favorite rock shops, and I think they thought it was something else, so they sold it to me not knowing that it was hemimorphite, because it had gotten moved from the hemimorphite section, so I actually got a really good deal on that one. Hold on, let me go back and look at Maha's comment. Oh no, say hi to Cheeky for me. Wally was here around here oh, he's just off camera. He's asleep in a little sunspot. So yeah, like, yeah. So yes, so don't forget, on Tuesday, we have kind of decided we're going to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing on Halloween. If you can't make it, that's cool. You can watch the replay or whatever. But I'm going to pick a movie out of a hat, any movie that people have suggested in here. We're going to watch a B-rated flick together, and we're just going to do like commentary on it, like dumb commentary. So it'll be like we're all watching a movie together, like a scary, well, not scary, like Halloween Halloween B film. So yeah, I think that'll be a lot of fun. And see you later, Maha. Okay, so hey, before I head out, looks like we're at 71 minutes. Let me take a sip of tea, as I have been rambling quite a bit. And this is just my green double matcha green tea. Thank you. Yeah, I know, time just like flies by, especially when you're telling spooky stories, which I have aplenty. Okay, since there's not that many folks in here, and I kind of want to wrap up because I do have to do some other films for the week. I have to do my November reading and all of that stuff. I brought a few decks by, and I figured maybe you guys can choose from one of these 4 decks that I have right here, and I'll pull you guys a card if you don't mind. So I have the Les Vampires, if you're interested in me pulling a card from there. I have my Flower of Life. Thank you. I have my Halloween Oracle. And I have Vix from New Age Hipsters Insta Oracle. So, so let me know if you guys want me to do a read for you. Just let me know if you want me to do a specific 1 card pull for you, or you want me to do a general 1 card pull for you. So just let me know in the commentaries. And then I think that's how I like to wrap up this. I like to just pull everybody a card since there's not too many peeps in here. So yeah, so just let me know if you would like a general or a specific question, and I don't mind. General 1 card pull from the Halloween deck for the Laughter in the Woods. You got it. Okay, so we're pulling from Stacy DeMarco's deck, the Halloween Oracle. Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll do just a general read for you. And here's the backs of the cards, by the way. Those people that don't know. I have my little my little grounding stone with me. This is from the beach or a beach in Belgium, from my friend Steph that lives out in Belgium. We did like a little care package to each other. So this is one of the little stones that's just kind of keeping me grounded, because I kind of feel like there's a lot of spirit energy that joined when I was telling my spooky stories. There it is. Whoa. Hold on. I'm going to reshuffle because way too many came out. Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful card. Joy. Rejoicing in the present. And it was so funny because right before I pulled the card, I was like, for some reason, imagining you with like this beautiful auburn hair, and it was just like, you know, and then I pulled the joy card. So yeah, it seems like there's a lot of light surrounding you right now, that there's maybe some things that have finally, sure, no problem, New Age Lunatic, I will definitely get to you as well. So it feels like, you know, a lot of things that you've been working towards have finally paid off, and you're finally feeling, you know, as we do, we all go through cycles, but it seems like you're in a really good place right now, where you have time to express your gratitude for the things that have come to you. So yeah, I'm feeling like you're in a really good spot right now. I just keep seeing that radiant auburn hair, you know, sunshine. So that's good. I feel a lot of good energy coming out of this one. So yay! So that was for, so yeah, so Laughter in the Woods, let me know if that resonates, but I'm really getting that a really awesome energy off of you. Yeah, so I don't know what you've been up to, but it looks like you've been working your butt off, and and it's finally paying off. So yay! Okay, looking back in my comments, okay, so New Age Lunatic, you said that there's you have something going on for you on a spiritual level, and you're not sure what's happening. Sure. Okay. Did you also want? Oh, great! I'm glad that resonated. Excellent. So New Age Lunatic, did you want also the Halloween Oracle, or did you want one of the other three? And I'll look into whatever the spiritual happenings. You said there's something spiritual going on, or some spirituality issues. Oh, maybe vampires? Okay. Okay, so this is for New Age Lunatic. So we'll see what pops up. And here we have the Le Vampire. And I always feel like every time I do readings, I get so hot. Like, I'm glad it's going to be cold on Halloween so I can wear my little onesie. Okay, so the card that came out, and I don't know if it's like I'm like pre-seeing the cards, but this card popped up. It says faith, trust, unwavering confidence. But you know how she has the brown curly hair? It's like I'm seeing you guys as the cards. So like for Laughter in the Woods, I saw her as having this like radiant like auburn hair, and then it's like this like joy card, you know, full of, you know, oranges and bright, and then for you, I was seeing you as, you know, kind of sitting there with like these, it's like curly brown hair, and then we get this card. So then I know it's for you. So you were asking about spirituality, and I know this kind of looks somewhat almost religious, and here it has like the key to the heart. So I hadn't even thought of that, like knowing your gender. But it says trust, unwavering confidence. You know how you said you didn't quite understand what was going on right now. It seems like you know, there are some things that we probably can never define or never fully understand, but we just have to go with it because we know that eventually it's going to help us in the future. I don't know if this is making any sense. Like, let's say, I don't know, like for me personally, if I'm doing something in my job and I know it's not something that I want to do right now, and I don't know why I have to do it right now, but I know for somewhere deep inside of me that it's this experience or situation is going to help me for something later on. So you may not fully understand all that's going on around you or why certain things are happening, but just know you need to experience these events and these feelings because they're going to help you later for a situation that will come up later, because you'll have already gone through the mental events, you'll have already gone through the emotional events. So just know, and I'm not sure this is making sense, that you'll have to, you know, you have to experience all of this, even though maybe it's this exact situation you won't experience again, but you need to take the lessons and the feelings and the thoughts that are associated with it into the next situation so that you will come out on top, you know, if you apply everything that you have experienced and learned. So yeah, let me know if that resonates. So yeah, there is something else on the horizon for you where you're going to need, thank you, Amber, where you're going to need everything that you're experiencing now, because you will have had the experience. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. You will have had the experience. Therefore, you'll be more prepared for what is coming up. And it may be really uncomfortable, but it's stuff we all have to go through. So yeah. So let me know if New Age Lunatic, if that resonates with you. And then let me scroll back here and make sure I haven't missed anybody. Okay, so do we have anybody else that would like a 1-card draw? Again, I'm using Le Vampire, New Age Hipsters Insta Oracle, the Flower of Life, and the Halloween Oracle. So yeah, anybody else before I do a little peace out? And then I will do all the other videos that I have. Oh, 222s and 111s. Those are good. So the way I see 111 is not only like angels, but as like a new beginning. And Amber, I will definitely do a reading for you. Just let me know what oracle deck you want me to use. And the 2s, when I see multiple 2s, I feel like that I have spiritual assistance at that time, so that I'm like not going through it alone. So I think that's just what that's letting you know, is that, you know, there is something new for you on the horizon, but you're not going it alone. You have some companions on the other side that are helping you through it. Okay. Okay, Amber says... no worries. So let's see, deck I'm feeling for Amber. Halloween Oracle. Some Halloween activities and shopping. You got it. Since Halloween, it's only a few days away. You are very, very welcome. Okay, so On Wednesday, November 1st, I'm going to one of my friends' famous Dia de los Muertos parties, where we all bring pictures of our loved ones. We bring the foods or drinks that they loved in life. We tell stories about them. And then he brings his friend Mary, and she does, basically she connects to the people, or tries to connect to all the people in the pictures, and she does, like, you know, a little mediumship connection for all of us, which I think is fun. Okay, so Amber, let's do a you know, it's so funny, well, I guess not funny, but anytime I do a reading, whether it's whether it's like I'm doing reading for a client, or I'm doing readings for you guys, or I'm doing reading for myself or something, there's always an image that like pops into my head. So, like, you know, we had the image of a girl with auburn hair, and we had an image of a girl with curly hair, and then Amber, I had this image of of like you with a coffee, and you're just like muttering to yourself, like and like you, like bags under the eyes, just like you totally had it. So we'll pull a card for you. But I think that's just kind of how I connect to people's energies. I get like just a quick flash of, maybe even if that's not what you actually look like, it's just the energy that's coming off of you. Okay. Amber. You mutter away to yourself. I think that's a lot of moms. I think they do a lot of muttering to themselves. My best friend Agnes, she's like always muttering to herself. Her two daughters like drive her up the wall. But see, I get to be the cool auntie when I come. Her daughters love me. Okay, Amber, let's see. Looks like we have... Nope, that one didn't want to come out, so that's not yours. This one's yours. Oh, this one kind of wanted to come out earlier. Okay. We have Skull of Stars. It says infinite possibilities. Hey, sometimes the best listener is yourself. Oh, you get to be the, oh my gosh, that's a lot of nieces and nephews. Okay, so Amber, what I'm getting for it says infinite possibilities. It seems like what I saw is a brick wall, and it's almost like you had your hands on the wall, like thinking, you know, that you're stuck where you are, or you're not sure what to do next. And when I see the wall is only maybe like, I don't know, like 6 foot by 6 foot. It's not a complete brick wall. You have the opportunity to walk around to one side, or you have the opportunity to walk around to the other side. There's a lot of things you are capable of doing and that you can do, and a lot of people that you can help, and sometimes you don't even know you're helping them, but you are. You know, just merely you being a listening ear, or being there, being in their presence, you know, sometimes really helps a lot of people, you know. And it seems like there are so many things that you can do right now, but you may be just feeling a little stuck. So I think maybe if you just did a little bit of a retreat, took some time for yourself. I know that you said you're uber busy with the kids, and you obviously got a lot of nieces and nephews, but I think it's really, really pertinent that you take some time away. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. I mean, you could take an afternoon if that's all you have, and you can get maybe somebody to watch the kids for you, but I think you need to just take yourself out of your environment for just a moment, even if it's out of your town, out of your city, out of your house, to start gaining a new perspective on things. You know, start making a list, you know, of like, yeah, so like what are some things I'm really, truly in my heart, I'm really interested in, and what is it I really, really want to do? What are some of the outcomes of me doing those things? You know, just do a little bit of journaling if that's your thing, or maybe just verbally, you know, talk out loud. Sometimes, you know, we just need to talk things out, and I think that'll help give you just open up your mind a little bit, give you a little bit more clarity on things that are going on. so that you can see the next step to take, because it seems like you're a little stuck right now. Oh, great. So yeah, if you have time away on Monday, this is the perfect time for you then to get this done. Because right now with everything that's going on, you're like, I got to do this, I got to do this, and I got to do this. And it's almost like you can't breathe, you know, it's like, and therefore, you know, if you're stuck in that, got to do this, there isn't any room for expanded possibility. And you have so much potential, girlfriend. So yeah. You have infinite possibilities, you know, ahead of you. You just gotta take that time away. So, yay! I'm glad that resonates with you, faux show. And I am so grateful that when I come on to do these live chats, and anytime I do any of my videos and people comment, or you know, and I'm so glad that I'm surrounded by all you like really awesome people. Like, you don't understand like how much it means to me to be able to, you know, pull cards for you guys and interact with you all. I think you guys get me pumped, you know. I'm like totally pumped for the day. Let me go back and just look at these. Yeah, so excellent. So am I missing anybody? Did anybody else need a card pulled before I check out? Well, thank you so much, Laughter in the Woods, for showing up, and everybody else who came. And I know there are other people that popped in and out, and I really do appreciate it. You know, there's other live chats, you know, obviously going on Saturdays, and I'm really grateful for the people that could pop in even briefly on mine. So this unicorn loves you. So all right, I guess that's it for card pulls. And let's see, I was gonna do one more thing. Oh, okay, so I have been called to, okay, so this will be the last thing, and then I'm out. Okay, so I have my apophyllite here, and I like to use my apophyllite. Yes, the card slinging unicorn. When I'm connecting to higher vibe energies. So, P.S. this apophyllite was $20 at the gem fair from my favorite little booth that I like to go to get their stuff from Tibet. Okay, so the reason I would like to use this right now to pull in some of the high vibe energies, because it's like they've been like tapping me on the shoulder, hey, you got one more reading in you before you leave. So it's like one more general reading for everybody who's still here watching, or anybody who is going to watch this on the replay. So I'm just gonna like get in my little zone, and I'm just gonna do a quick message for you all, and then it's peace out. Okay. So I'll let you know which of my guides I'm connecting to. Okay, so I do connect to animal energy quite a bit, and one of the energies I do connect to a lot is like deer. And so I'm seeing like this big buck, you know, male deer, and he's like, you know, got these ginormous antlers. So I'm asking him what the message is for all my friends here on YouTube and beyond. Okay, so what he was showing me is like going into conflict with like another buck. You know how they use their antlers sometimes to play or to like practice fighting. And so the general message is, no matter how bad you think a situation has gotten, you know, like the antlers intertwining, you know, whatever the fight is, or conflict of situation or with others, and you feel like there was some sort of loss, you know. So I see the antler breaking away, but I see a new antler growing, you know, that there's always renewal, there's always rebirth, there's always change. So nothing is permanent. Nothing is bad forever. Nothing is conflicted forever. Ever. Nothing is angry forever. So I'm seeing that, you know, whatever you have lost will be regained more beautifully. So yeah, that was the message for everybody. So that is from my big beautiful buck that like walked in. So yeah, so he's just showing me, you know, as we go through these conflicts and these, you know, these events, we'll come out renewed. You know, that the antler will grow back. You know, nothing is lost forever. So yeah, that is your guys' message. And thank you, Apophyllite. Thank you to my buck that was right off screen. I could feel his energy there. So that was the one that was kind of pressing me to tell you guys. Okay, so thank you all for coming by. I'm gonna peace on out. It is what time? It's probably lunchtime. So yeah, so I'm gonna go off and go have some lunch, and thank you all for coming. Hopefully I'll see you guys in Halloween. We can do our Mystery Science Theater 3000 movies. So don't forget to post those movies that we'll go into a hat and we'll pull out what movie we'll all watch together, and that'll be fun. Okay, so thank you, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Some of you guys are heading into the evening, so I wish you a wonderful dinner and a wonderful evening, and that's it. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye.